Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of Firepower Threat Defense series. In this video, we are going to configure BGP between Internet Gateway underscore 2 router and our FTD which is running in routed mode, and we will be doing that via this FMC because this FTD is managed by this FMC. Okay, so BGP is known as the protocol of Internet. It handles a lot of stuff over the internet in terms of routing. It uses TCP port number 179. It's basically a application layer protocol. Okay, and yeah, other thing is BGP neighborship has to go through several states like idle, active, open send, open received, and then established in the end. So we are not going to talk about in them. We are going to look how to configure the BGP on this FTD with with the help of the basic settings in there. And yeah, I have already completed the BGP configuration on my internet router. Let me show you. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, so this is my BGP configuration. I am running AS number 64512, which is in the range of the private ASs available to be used, 64512 to 65535. And then I have configured the neighbor as the FTD, and I am advertising these two subnets. Okay, in the BGP. Now let's make the configuration on the FTD. In order to make the configuration on the FTD, we have to go to FMC devices, device management. Once the page loads, you need to select the FTD on which you want to configure the BGP and then edit it. And then go to the routing section. Under routing section, before you can do anything in the BGP, first you have to configure the BGP general settings. Click on BGP. Here you need to enable the BGP and provide the AS number. Our AS number will be 64513. Okay, I'm not going to override BGP general settings for the router ID address. How the router ID determination will happen is automatic or manual. Let's keep it automatic. There are several rules for how a router ID is determined by a device in Cisco. So you can Google for those rules and you can find them out. Now this is the configuration. That's it. We are not gonna change any other thing. After that, now we will go to BGP and IPv4. Okay, in here also enable the IPv4, and you see the AS number is already come up from the basic settings 64513. In general settings, we are not going to change anything. I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm going to configure a neighbor first. Okay, BGP, in BGP you need to specify neighborship manually. It cannot discover the neighbors. Okay, add it, put the IP address of the neighbor here, which is our internet gateway to router 172.16.10.1. Okay, remote AS 64512, which is the AS of this router. Now after that I can give it description if I want: internet underscore gateway underscore 2. Okay, enable this neighbor. Okay, if you do not enable, you cannot do anything else. So you need to enable the neighbor, and that's it. I'm not going to change anything in terms of routes, timers, advanced, and even migration stuff. I'm just going to keep the things default. After that, now we need to determine what networks will participate in the BGP. Go to networks, add. Let's add our LAN because LAN needs to be known to our internet gateway to router, and then this as well. Now that is fine. This even if it goes, then fine. If even if it doesn't go, then fine too. I'll put that because this is a connected route, and connected route is the most specific route. Now I'll have a quick look on to the NAT policy for a second. Okay, inside to outside zone net is present. And then I also have a look to the access control policy. Okay, inside to outside is there. Let me do something. Okay, inside to outside is there. Okay, but the NAT is present. Uh, I need to do some adjustment in order for pure routing stuff to work. Otherwise, it's gonna take the NAT right now. What I have to do, first I need to put the interface in a logic new zone. I'll create a new zone. Okay. Now my new zone is there. Now I need to save the changes here and use this zone in the access policy. We'll talk about all this stuff later on in the series, but in here it is required so I can demo the BGP stuff in there. Okay. Save the changes. Now let's see our BGP changes. Not the access and net. I just want to make sure that my BGP changes exist before I deploy the policy. Okay, I just checked the IP4 once. Yeah, perfect. Networks are there. Neighbor is there. Perfect. I'll go ahead and deploy the changes on the FTD one. Okay, changes are being deployed. Now, if let's check what is the routing table of this right now. So right now it doesn't have a route for 10.0.0.0/24. It will be coming up here after BGP comes up. And in terms of our FTD, let's run a command on our FTD as well to check its routing table. Or we can also check from the global router, guys. We are aware. See, there is no route for 3.3.3. It will be coming up once the BGP comes up. So I'll wait for deployments to finish and then we will check the routing tables back again in order to make sure we have respective routes. So let's wait for it to finish. So guys, deployment is now complete. Let's check the routing table of the device. Before that, first check the routing table of, oh, we see we have a message. BGP neighbor has come up. That's a good news. Now let's check the routing on the internet gateway interface first. Internet gateway router first. See, we have this route coming via BGP. B is BGP. Okay, B. So we have the expected routing on the internet gateway. Now let's see if we have expected routing on the FTD or not. Go to manage virtual routers, click on routes. Okay, exception. Exception while sending message on SF tunnel. I am not sure why that is happening, but yeah, we have other ways as well. Shouldn't be a case that session timed out. An unauthorized action has been detected. You have been redirected. What did I do? I didn't do anything. Let me check the routing via the FTD CLI. Okay, so here it is. Admin. Yeah. You see, we have a route with B 333255255 or 255 via the router. So that's what we were expecting. So our routing is correct here. Let me exit. That's fine. Probably something else has gone wrong with the FMC. Fine, fine, fine. I'll check that later. Now let's first do the test of the ping pong. First I'll do debug, IP, ICMP, bring up the LAN switch, bring up the VPC. Okay, FMC is back on as well. That was something cosmetic for the time being. Let me see if my VPC has come up. Okay, VPC is up. Let me just change its appearance. Appearance change to 16. Perfect. Let's see the IP address, which is currently present. Okay, there is no IP. Let's get an IP address via the DHCP. Might be my switch is not yet up, so let's give it some time. Okay, so finally I have an IP address via the DHCP. It took some time for my switch to come up. That's why it took some time. So guys, now we have an IP address and also my internet gateway is ready. So let's hit the ping. Ping 3.3.3. See, we are getting a response and I can see the response is coming from my internet gateway router. And it can see my real IP address. That's it. That's what I wanted. So we have successfully established the BGP, eBGP. Between this and this, BGP has two flavors, iBGP, eBGP. So we are not gonna go into the details of BGP. BGP is something if you start learning today, it might take you, I would say, years to master it, different technologies in it. That's why it is the protocol of internet in terms of flexibility. Here you do not have, metrics, you have attributes of specific routes. So weight, local preference, and AS path. There are multiple attributes which are attached to a path. Then based on them, you select the best path. You can refer Cisco's documentation to find out how the best path selection happens in BGP, and it's a very interesting process, one point by point by point, and there are certain type of attributes associated with each route. Some are uh, I would say compulsory and some are optional attributes. Okay, so that's it for this video and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day.